Living Life in conversation with Katie Peacock, who shares some of Gareth Pratt's story. Living Life is a series of short films where people with a learning disability and/or autism talk about how they live life. Each film tells a different story. These films have been created to help people think about how they choose to live life or support people to live life. Each film has tips from the person in conversation and questions to help you think about the film. This is a partnership project created by Thera Trust, the Aldingbourne Trust, New Prospects and Paradigm. As you watch Gareth's film, 1. How do Gareth's supporters know what he wants to do in his life if he can't speak? 2. What skills and tools do his supporters need to do this? Pause the film when you need to and discuss. So, hello Katie, you're not Gareth. Who are you, Katie?
No, I'm not Gareth. Hi, but I'm a good friend of Gareth, and I help him to organise his life and to arrange his support. Fantastic. So I manage his team of PAs.
Right, PAs, personal assistants, so they're the people that support him, yeah? Yes. Tell me about the picture behind us then. So this is the wonderful Gareth, yes?
That's the lovely Gareth, and there he is at Salts Mill, which is the home of a permanent David Hockney exhibition.
So Gareth isn't with us because it would be difficult for him to be on film like this, and I've met Gareth a number of times, and he's given permission for us to chat about him through you and to have the pictures, which is brilliant. But I'm asking everybody, Katie, what they love about life. So what do you think one of the main things Gareth loves about life?
He loves to be in control of his life. He loves people. He is a party animal. He finds it much easier to be with a group of people that he can orchestrate and he can bring together. He can make people do what he wants them to do. And he prefers that to being on his own with, say, 2 support workers or 2 PAs.
We're going to hear about how Gareth's life has really been designed in response to what he needs and wants and loves in his life with people he trusts. Can you just tell us a bit about where Gareth lives and how he's supported?
So Gareth, he lives in his own tenancy. He's got his own bungalow. Previously, he's lived in residential care settings, but for the last 15 years, he's lived in his own place, and he is supported to self-direct his support. So he's got a couple of really close friends, one of them being me, who helped him to set up a trust, and the trust employs a team of personal assistants, personal care assistants.
So he has his life designed with him and around him. He's got a small team of people. Can you tell us, Katie, a little bit about how Gareth communicates?
Gareth uses a lot of sounds to communicate and loves to sing. He can use some words, and he does know a few words, but he's able to communicate using sounds and something that we call intensive interaction.
So how do you plan with Gareth what he wants to do with his life?
Well, we have to pay very special attention. When we try things with Gareth, we have to really observe, looking for signs of pleasure and enjoyment, and equally looking for signs that he's not enjoying it. Gareth will very, very clearly let us know that he's not happy. We don't need to be told twice that he's not enjoying something. But we have to remember that and make a note of it. Also, another important thing is that we've learned from his family. We learned a lot from Gareth's mum over the years, and we still have got mum's notes and records in Gareth's support plan in her own handwriting. So any new person gets to read that.
Wow. So it's people who know and love Gareth really paying attention to everything he does in the whole range of ways he communicates. And that's why I think his life that we'll hear about is so important. It's so varied, his life, because it's built with him by people who know and love him, and people who know that if he was to be in a group setting for a long period of time, he probably would really struggle, wouldn't he?
He would definitely. He loves coming together and joining group activities with people, but he might only join them for half an hour or even 20 minutes. Gareth's life is always Gareth focused, and where possible, it's Gareth led. Obviously, there are some times that Gareth might not know he's got an appointment, for instance, if he's got a health appointment. So we have to help him to prepare for that. So one of the things we do is sing a little song. We make up a little song about the appointment. And Gareth responds really well to that. So he knows if he's going to the doctor, or he will sing a song about going swimming, and he could process it that way.
You've sent some amazing pictures that you sorted through with Gareth to just tell us the story of the things that he loves in life and what he does in a typical week. So I'm going to go and I'm going to share those pictures now and just hear a little bit more.
So here we are at Salts Mill. These are a couple of visits, actually. They're not all the same visit, but it's one of Gareth's favourite places, and it's somewhere that we can go to come rain or shine. There's always something to look at, often something new to look at, and Gareth loves the colours and the vibrancy of the paintings. Gareth's mum and dad were very creative, so I'm absolutely convinced that Gareth's got creative blood in his body. On one of, just on the bottom left picture there, you can see some big ceramic urns behind you, and a little bit further on there are beautiful vases full of lilies. So it's a great sensory experience, and the whole place, the aroma of those lilies just sort of fills the whole mill. It's gorgeous.
So being out helps Gareth flourish, but being in a special place like this that has the art that he enjoys, the smells, the space, I can see there's lovely open space there as well, and the memories of his family, just so important, isn't it? And is this something Gareth might do every week? Is it occasionally?
It's I suppose, every 6 weeks or so. We don't timetable it in. It's just when we can, when we've got some time, or when we think Gareth might like to go. It's really important that it doesn't become routine, and that it happens enough to enjoy it and to look forward to it, and for Gareth to think, oh yeah, I remember this place, but not to become routine that he becomes bored of it.
Katie, I'm going to take us on to the next set of wonderful pictures that Gareth has shared. Tell us about these, Katie.
Oh, these are so lovely. So Gareth does love to be outdoors, but one of the things that he doesn't like being out in the wind. So he finds that really difficult. He doesn't like wearing hats. So again, it's all about timing it, helping him to enjoy what he loves, but bearing in mind, he might not want to be out in all weathers. But here we've got a walk in the woods and a walk around the reservoir there, the bottom left one with Nick. And as you can see, Nick is kind of poised. I know what he's doing, and I know what he's saying to Gareth, because I can just tell by his body language. And he's interacting with Gareth using language that Gareth loves. And we've got Gareth enjoying taking part in cleaning up his village. So again, where possible, we support Gareth to be as involved as he can be, and as involved as he wants to be in his own community.
Yeah. So, I love the story you've told us before, Katie, that one time when Gareth was poorly, he wasn't going out, and someone came to check he was okay. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so Gareth loves to keep on trucking, as we say, in his wheelchair. Once he's in his chair and he's outdoors, he doesn't like to stop. And he was following a route around, and for some reason or another, for a few weeks, he didn't go that way. And this chap, who actually himself he struggled to walk, and he found out where Gareth lived, and he was across the other side of the road waving his crutch to get our attention, and said, where's lad? We've not seen him. I'm just come to check that he's okay, which, that's what we all want, isn't it? We really felt that Gareth was part of his community, where people missed him when he wasn't going past their garden gate.
And I remember you saying to me, Gareth likes off-roading. So actually being in the countryside, in the woods, the chair's vibrating, but he likes that motion, doesn't he?
He loves it, and he will be making sound effects there. I just know what Gareth will be saying, as he's going over all those bumps.
In terms of his days, he is spending some of his time going out, having fun in the community, experiencing nature, just being part of his community. Other times he's doing things to help the community, like picking up the litter and stuff as well, which is just a great balance. And you always having to follow Gareth's mood. What does he feel like doing today? What's the weather doing today? How can we make this possible? Some more wonderful slides here that give us more stories about Gareth. So tell us what's happening in these.
I love these. Yeah, and sometimes, as we were saying, the camera doesn't always catch the moment that you want to catch. But we've got Gareth, who is walking the dog there, So that's a friend's dog, and he loves, I've seen photos of Gareth with that dog on his knee actually, and he's stroking it and talking to it. And Gareth grew up with dogs. He had dogs as a child when he lived with his parents. Bottom left picture there with little Alexa on his knee. I just love it. Gareth's team, I think we've had about 15 babies in the time that Gareth lived in his bungalow, and he's always been like this uncle to all of them and loves them on his knee.
More pictures coming up, Katie. Here we go. I love this one, talking with Gareth. Yeah.
I love that Gareth on the bus. And, it's so easy because Gareth's got his own wheelchair accessible vehicle. It would be so easy just to, help Gareth to get into his car and set off, which we do. But he loves the public transport. It's another good place to meet people. And there have been times, you can see what Gareth's doing there. He's clapping and he will be saying hooray. And there have been times when he's been on the bus and he's had the whole bus singing, which is great. and that, it's a great opportunity for Gareth, but it's a great opportunity for everyone really to be together. And, in terms of people understanding each other.
Everyone's got something to offer, haven't they? And I think Gareth shows that without using many words, but he shows it in his behaviour, his singing, his smile, and the other behaviours that he just, celebrates life, doesn't he? He's out and about in his own unique way. So.
He does. And there's Adam helping Gareth to do some shopping. And what I really loved about that moment, I was there that day. Adam, he just helped Gareth to take hold of the trolley. He did that instinctively himself, so it was just that Gareth was going to be supported to do his own shopping by another friend.
I'm doing shopping, the everyday stuff. A typical week for most of us, doesn't it, involves doing the things to look after our house.
Yeah.
Our home. So we need to shop and do the cleaning, and that's part of what a week generally involves everybody, don't they, if they're living a sort of varied ordinary life.
They do, and we try to support Gareth to be involved in that as much as he wants to be. He has a Tesco or a supermarket delivery, so he's not doing a massive shop every week because he wouldn't enjoy that, but he can enjoy the hustle and bustle of a supermarket, and especially if it involves a cup of tea or a bun in the cafe afterwards. That's his thing. The bottom left picture of ice skating. One of the really good things there was that Gareth was helping Chris to stay upright. So he was actually, so Chris was pushing Gareth around, but also, using his wheelchair to stay upright. So again, it's about how you see people and how you see opportunities, really. And the bottom photo is, that was the men folk at one of his curry nights that he hosted. So he brought his team together for a bit of a team gathering, and they had a curry night in Gareth's front room.
That's great, isn't it? So his home, his pad, he had the curry night, he hosted people to come to his home to celebrate. Love our Katie.
Oh, I love these photos of Gareth in the hydro. Oh, yeah. So, well, there's just so much pleasure there, isn't there, for everyone? And for me too, watching. But again, the hydro could be a practical activity, for Gareth, for health benefits and so on, but it's so much more than that. So there's all that socializing going on. I can tell you there was loads of singing and loads of splashing and just lots of fun. And Gareth taking risks. He was ducking his head in the water and splashing splashing all of us. So just so much fun. There was a little time where Gareth had a regular appointment, a weekly appointment to go swimming, to go to this hydro, and it became very clear that he didn't want to go. So we tried a few things to encourage him. We thought we'll just give another little opportunity. We'll just try this and try that, but it became very clear he didn't want to go, so he didn't go, and he didn't go for about 18 months.
Yeah. So listening to him again, verbally or non-verbally, we're going to stop this for a while because, ideally all of our lives have some variety. They change, don't they? None of us want to do the same things generally for year after year after year, and we're constantly changing that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Katie, I think this is the final set of slides Gareth's given to us. So tell us about these wonderful pictures.
Oh, I love this picture. I love the picture of Gareth with his friend, and there's just so much fun and laughter going on there. So Gareth lives on his own in his own place, and it's important to us that we try to check out with him when he wants to see friends and invite friends round for him, because it is down to his team to do that. Gareth couldn't do that himself. And there he's got Tom, and Tom has been very inspired by Gareth. Tom now lives in his own place too, and calls Gareth my champion. And as you can see, you know, Gareth laughing and communicating and using his fingers here like this, which is always a really good, positive, happy sign that Gareth's enjoying himself. Yeah. And I love the small photo on the right where Gareth's lying back on his sofa, and the photograph's taken from you know, his head end, and just generally chilling out. It's so important, you know, to find times to chill. Gareth's life is not about doing something every minute of the day at all. Bottom right photograph, Gareth's actually in the allotment shed. So again, we have a group of friends that come together to work on the allotment, and Gareth doesn't like to stop for very long at all, you know, so if he's in his wheelchair, as I said, he likes to keep on trucking. So in order to help him to join in with the allotment activities, we bought a comfy chair and an easy chair that's in the shed, and Gareth sits on there and he can sort of watch what's going on and supervise in a way. So again, it's just finding creative ways that Gareth can join in with things. You know, it's not making him do something against his wish, it's finding ways to include him.
And supporting Gareth in the way that's right for him. Gareth doesn't have a top on here because that's how he's most comfortable, isn't it? You know, it's knowing that. And, you know, I think you use intensive interaction, don't you, to try and understand that. But, you know, he clearly communicates to you that's how he wants to be, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yes. You know, the moment Gareth goes undercover, if you like, you know, in his house, or sometimes even on the bus or in a cafe, you know, Gareth wants to take his top off. So we've had to work really hard using intensive interaction to understand it and help him to you know, wear clothes where most of us think it's appropriate. I mean, going out, it is appropriate just to stay warm. So yeah, you know, but at home, that's how you will see Gareth.
I know that the team around Gareth, the people that know and love him, have put together an outline for what's possible for the ideal week. And within there, you don't say Monday you must do this, Tuesday you must do this. You give a range of options, don't you? Because you know what Gareth enjoys doing. And then you have to say, good morning, Gareth, what do you fancy doing today?
It isn't about being busy. It's about doing enough to have a full and active and happy life. We know the sorts of things he likes doing. But sometimes as a team, you might forget, you know, because it's not our life. So you might forget what Gareth likes doing. So we have created a list, if you like, of all the things that Gareth likes doing and the things that we can try as well. Because Gareth can't tell us in words. He couldn't say, today I fancy going swimming. So we've got that swimming on a list of things, of something that Gareth might want to do. Obviously, behind the scenes, we have to do some planning for that because we need two people there to go swimming. So that's the sort of thing that we might have. It's almost like it's something we keep in our back pocket as a list of suggestions to try. But on that list of suggestions is lots of downtimes and lots of inviting other people to join in as well.
You were saying that Gareth has wonderful variety in his life, and you have to sense through knowing him what he might like to do. But there are times when he doesn't have enough staff or people around him or money maybe to do things. And that's sort of reality, isn't it? So how does Gareth cope with that? How do you help Gareth understand that there's lots that he loves and you can do, but there are times when we can't do what we want now?
Yeah, it is a challenge, which is, you know, if you think back to what I was saying about the hydro sessions or the curry nights, you know, we try to eke out and get added value for being together. So we might have the hydro session and have the team together. So that's a team meeting. Our team meetings might be in the pool. So that's one way of making sure Gareth does something that he loves, but making sure that we bring people together so that we can have a chat and interact together as a team. Also involving friends. You know, we saw Adam pushing Gareth in the supermarket. So there we're involving friends in Gareth's life, but also they're helping as well. So it's just about seeing things a little bit more creatively than having to rely on paid staff all the time.
Katie, I know you really can't speak for Gareth, but I just want you to imagine if we asked Gareth what tips he would give to other people with similar disabilities to him about life, what might he say to people?
I think Gareth would urge people to trust and believe that people are genuinely good and want to support him to lead the best life he can, and to trust that they have his best interests at heart and will do what they can to support him, and urge people to trust each other.
That takes real bravery, doesn't it? That bravery to try something new. If you find people you trust, and then you're brave enough to try things new in life. And I think Gareth's life shows that he's got things that he's enjoyed for a long time. He's got things that he discovers that he really likes, and he does things he probably never imagined he'd do. So all of that stuff happens because he's been brave enough to trust somebody.
Yeah, sometimes we all just need a little bit of encouragement to be brave and stick with something.
Gareth's tips: be brave and try new things. Be brave and stick with things. And trust and believe that people are generally good and want you to live the best life possible. Thank you, Gareth and Katie. Thank you to those who helped make this film happen. Exclusively inclusive.